Welcome back, everybody, to the DDT podcast, Doug and Danny Talk. I am Danny.
I'm Doug.
Here we're going to talk about the latest WWE Superstar Shakeup of 2018. Who went where, who had the better show between Raw and SmackDown, and overall speculation of the future of this year's shakeup. So, Doug?
Danny.
So who had the better show this week, do you think?
Both actually brought some pretty big game changers.
Yeah.
I would honestly just have to give the upper hand to Raw.
In the overall show, Raw had the better show, but long term, SmackDown has upped their game a lot.
SmackDown did get quite a few superstars.
Yeah, with Raw being a 3-hour show, you don't need that many stars on the show. You can cut that in half and fill the mid card up a lot more. The main event picture is going to look a lot better for Raw. You're not going to have a bunch of people.
Well, with
just
Raw
sitting
being
on
the
their
longer
hands.
show, they need that extra hour with superstars.
Yeah.
But then again, Raw also fills probably 45 minutes of their show worth of promos and commercials and non-aired matches.
Yeah. So then let's get into Raw.
Yeah, Raw starting off with the arrival of Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, Kurt Angle comes out and wants to reveal the first shakeup of the Superstar Shakeup. And of course, one of the two, Sunil Brothers, comes out to introduce Jinder Mahal, recognizing that he's a former WWE champion, current United States champion. Jinder Mahal, I can't roll my R's that much, so it's just Jinder Mahal.
Modern day Maharaja.
Yeah, modern day Maharaja, yes. Jinder comes out, he is not happy.
Okay, that's what really pissed me off. Just to start off the show, he already is wanting demands out of Raw.
Well, and he also shouldn't have showed up in his ring gear. That was his own misfortune. Because...
But, you're demanding that you get a limousine to be brought to the arena, not an SUV.
Yeah, he wants a limo. He needs that leg room. He likes a minibar. Pops,
You're brand new to the show. You don't get to make demands like that, no matter who you are.
Well, still, it's Jinder Mahal.
I don't care who it is.
Anyway, so he showed up on Monday Night Raw. He wasn't happy, telling Kurt, "This is how I want to be treated. I don't know how you treat your superstars on Monday Night Raw." Kurt Angle telling him, "Well, I'll tell you how we treat our superstars. We sell stuff in the ring. So I'll tell you what, sir."
Before that even happened, though, he makes the joke of being sarcasm and wanting the Singh brother to take down Kurt's email.
Oh, yeah. Kurt's
he wants his email to send him all his demands.
My email is kurt.angle, ANGL, at no frickin' way. And he tells him right there and there, since you're already in your ring gear, you're going to defend that title right here, right now, Monday Night Raw, against this man.
And it's Jeff Hardy.
And that was pretty cool.
I was very happy about that.
Yeah. Poor Jinder, though. He was not expecting that.
Well, Jinder's just... He's Jinder.
Jinder is Jinder. He's so bad that he's good.
No, he's just terrible.
But overall, for Jinder coming to Raw, it makes sense because there really wasn't much else for him to do on SmackDown.
There wasn't a storyline for him on SmackDown.
Yeah, especially since going from when he showed up after beating Finn Balor on the Monday Night Raw before getting drafted, winning number one's contendership battle royal, facing Randy Orton 1 year ago at Backlash, going through the WWE picture, the main event scene, and then now the United States scene, there really isn't anything left for him to do.
No, there isn't.
So it's good that they quote unquote shook him up.
But that brings a new question, though, because there was the number one contender last week.
Yeah, so Randy Orton won last week to become the number one contender. So either I think it's going to be Randy versus Jeff Hardy, or they put Jinder in there to give him his rematch clause, and then it's a triple threat match, and then Jeff and Randy.
But there's no rematch required because he never lost the title. Oh, okay, you mean Jinder and Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the same page now.
Yeah. But yeah, poor Jinder, he got snuck up on by the charismatic Enigma. It was
High
cool,
flying.
yeah, a cool little match. Jinder took his head off with a big boot,
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nasty kick to the head there.
and Jeff eventually got the twist of fate on, but it was like a weird. I think he didn't know how to take a twist of fate because he kind of took like a stunner.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, that happens when two guys that have never faced each other face off, and it's just like I have no idea how to take your finisher. Like somebody's taking the Styles Clash. When you're upside down, your first hesitation is to, push your chin close to your chest. But when you're taking it, you have to look up.
Exactly.
And if you don't look up, you could get your neck.
You're gonna end up like Ellsworth.
Ellsworth, yeah. But in that case, AJ saved his life.
You're gonna end up with no chin.
Yeah, hurt.
All in all, Jeff Hardy, newest Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, new United States champion. I don't know what number of Grand Slam champion is. I'm assuming it's in the 20s now.
Oh, it has to be.
No,
There's so many bringing up now. It's kind of losing meaning.
not really. I think it's just because for guys like Randy Orton, eventually because he's a full timer. It's just he does less live events. He doesn't do weekends, and I think eventually Randy is going to take a more part-time schedule. Kind of like AJ will eventually, because they're both old.
Well, when you're the champ, you have to be on, unless you're Brock Lesnar.
Unless you're Brock Lesnar, yeah. But yeah, so new United States champion, Jinder now part of Raw.
Yeah, moving on to the next match of the night, we had finally got to see Sasha and Bayley go one-on-one again
Yeah.
with their new feud.
Now it's almost confirmed that Sasha is a heel now. That she is no longer a tweener, no longer like a face that's sort of just at odds with her friend. Now she's full-blown heel.
Yeah. That match alone, I mean, those two know each other for years.
They can't do wrong.
No.
It's another layer to their rivalry and history. Sort of like Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Exactly. Like you fought with them side by side. You know their moves.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to put a good match on.
There was a nice spot where Sasha slaps Bayley in the face, and they just become slap fest, and they start punching each other and just like
Slap for slap.
slap for slap, punch for punch.
Yeah. Sasha really gets some connection with her double knees.
Yeah, it was really.
Like to go over the top rope and into the turnbuckle,
Mm-hmm.
and then do it again inside the ring on the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Like that's got to take a toll on, I guess, your collarbone is where she's connecting.
Yeah, collarbone, neck, head, chin, like it's the whole upper body area.
Mm-hmm. It's like Finn's running kick.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't hold back at all.
No, there's some moves you kind of have to hit at full force.
Yeah. Only to have that match interrupted with another superstar shakeup.
Yep, the Riot Squad is now on Monday Night Raw. Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liz Morgan, Sarah Logan. Yeah.
Yes.
Or it's the other way around.
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan, right.
Come on, Danny.
Yeah.
She's the hot blonde.
She is yeah, is she the one with the blue tongue?
Yes.
Yeah, that threw me off. I was like, what the fuck is she, a Chow?
Well, it's probably going to be red now.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Keep that kayfabe going.
I was actually excited to see them on Raw because that actually proved my prediction at the time for having Absolution and Riot Squad on the same show.
It all really depended on, had they had stayed, who would SmackDown would have gotten, because that's 3 women off the show.
Exactly.
And yeah, they came in. They basically did what Absolution did when they first showed up. They attacked Sasha and Bayley, delivering, I guess, other finishers or signature moves and standing tall.
Yeah. Next match of the night, we had Rhino and Slater face against AOP again.
Authors of Pain.
I don't know what they're trying to do with that. I don't know why Slater wants to get his ass kicked.
Well, I think last week it was a squash, but this week it's okay.
I
I'm
still
ready for you
found that.
now.
I still found that to be a brutal victory.
Oh yeah, like there should be Authors of Pain aren't the kind of tag team that are supposed to have the kind of tag team matches that Sheamus and Cesaro would be having, or Usos. It shouldn't be a competition. They're literally the most dominant tag team in NXT history, and they should be like Asuka, where it's just like, I'm gonna show up, we're gonna hit you as hard as we can, as fast as we can, as much as we can, and we're gonna do it with saying, like, they don't talk when they're in the ring. They make noises. They make grunts.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they do in the ring. That's how they communicate to do like codes for moves and stuff. Because now Paul Ellering isn't there anymore.
Hey, whatever helps you keep the upper hand in a match.
Yeah. If
they don't know what code you're saying.
Yeah. But also, yeah. So they go over. What's their signature called?
I have no idea.
No, it's a clothesline Russian leg sweep combination. They have a different one where it's they both get their opponents in the powerbomb. They run towards them, bump both their opponents into them, and then they powerbomb each other. And then I think they would set up the Russian leg sweep clothesline combination.
Okay. Like I said in our last episode, I'm quite unfamiliar with Authors of Pain, so...
And NXT as a whole.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to NXT that very well. Miz coming on to the show.
Yep.
Who'd you think that... Miz TV. Who'd you think he was going to be bringing to Raw?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be NXT call-up or Baron Corbin.
Why do you say that?
I don't know, just getting heels to the show, because that's Miz's thing.
Well, being probably the best heel Raw ever has.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense if it was a heel,
Mm-hmm.
which it was.
Yeah.
It was pretty much called for too, having Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come to Raw.
Yeah, I didn't know how they were going to pull this off, but it is cool how they did it. So
they go behind Kurt Angle's back.
Well, they don't go behind Kurt Angle's back. Stephanie McMahon goes behind his back.
Well, she's already behind his back because she's at a higher level of authority.
Right. Well, so what happens is Miz TV's out happening. The Miz, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, they're out there, and they want to introduce the newest members of Monday Night Raw, being Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. So they come out, they're all standing in the ring, and they are so ecstatic and happy to be in the same ring together.
Yep.
That they figure that this is going to be the new power alliance. Kind of like what was going on in December, when it was supposed to be the Shield versus the Miztourage and the Bar and Braun Strowman. And then Kurt Angle comes out, and he's just saying, what the hell are you guys doing here? Like, you had your chance last week, and you failed.
This is where I just started laughing my ass off. Their reactions to Sami Zayn reading that letter of authority.
Yeah, he brings out this letter, this email that he told Kurt has a copy of this email on his phone, and then he brings out reading glasses. That is perfect. More heels need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to play their characters so much better. But to have all that happen and then have it get shut down with Kurt sending Miz to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. So Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn read this email, and then after Sami's done reading the email from Stephanie McMahon, basically saying, sometimes, Kurt, you make these emotional decisions. I chose to make a rational decision by picking up the hottest free agents from SmackDown Live. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens begin mocking Kurt Angle, and Kurt's just standing there just like, all right, you got me. Welcome to Raw, Sami and Kevin. Miz, you're going to SmackDown. And everyone's like, what?
What?
Don't say that.
And then he starts going on saying, "Do you realize what you've done? You've just sent your best superstar to the other show."
He's like, yeah, and guess what? Daniel Bryan asked me to.
Yeah. Specifically asked for Miz.
He's still got some pull there. So yeah,
But his expectation was he was going to SmackDown and the Miz Taraj was going with him.
yeah.
That's what he thought out of that.
And Kurt flat out said, no, dude, it's just you. Those two are staying. And that's when the world ended. They were like, wait, what?
That kind of gets me thinking that the Miz Taraj is kind of ending and they're just going to be fired because there's not really a gimmick for either of them in singles competition.
For the amount of superstars that were traded to each shows, it kind of begs the question of, are they going to have a mass release just because, holy crap, the amount of stars that got moved around.
Yeah.
Like, usually it's around 5, 6, 10 max. Overall, there were 19 superstars just to Raw.
Yeah, that's insane.
So then that brought us...
That's half of SmackDown's roster.
Yeah, and two of their biggest heels being Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Exactly. Like, what's going to be brought to their show?
Mm-hmm.
After all that, we had the number one contender match for the SmackDown titles to be fought at Greatest Royal Rumble.
Right, so Tag Team Eliminator. So Matt Hardy,
And
Bray Wyatt
versus the Revival.
Right. I don't much care for the Hardy Bray Wyatt partnership.
I love it.
I just wish that Bray looked different.
Yeah.
Because, like, the look that he has right now is with this butcher jacket thing. But... Blacksmith, okay. But, like, he still looks the same. He still acts the same. He still wrestles the same.
Well, that's the point, though. Like, their characters were so similar. Why change one?
Well, even when...
in the slightest bit.
Even when Matt Hardy wasn't woken, he wrestled different. But then when he became woken, he started doing different moves, like the turnbuckle smash, where he goes hits the guy's head 3 times and moves to the next one 3 times and to the bottom one 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, there are certain moves that he didn't do when he was woken versus now.
But that was probably because TNA had rights to those moves.
No.
Just like they had the rights to the gimmick.
I think it was more so related to the gimmick than it was ownership. Because, like, he can't flat out say that he is woken or broken and use the delete chants like he did at WrestleMania. Like, when
he probably didn't start that until, like, the crowd obviously was going to do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, at WrestleMania, when he was doing it, the WWE cameras, they zoomed away from him. Because what happened at a Ring of Honor event the night before WrestleMania was he was doing the delete chants, and TNA went to Ring of Honor and gave him a cease and desist order.
Oh, really?
So the more that they had the Broken Hardys from TNA on Ring of Honor show doing this stuff, using the TNA IP of that gimmick, they were going to get essentially a blackout period during that match. But now that TNA has waived the rights to certain superstars or all superstars that create stuff under their banner and want to take stuff elsewhere, they're going to allow it.
Yeah.
It's no longer a thing of, you create it under our roof, it belongs to us.
Exactly. It honestly was stupid for TNA to hold back that whole gimmick to WWE because, like, the Hardys ran that entire thing.
Yeah.
They came up with their own gimmicks. They came up with the storyline. They came up with the ultimate deletion match.
Yeah, all Matt and Jerry Borash, who's now a producer for NXT and a writer. So eventually, when he does come to the main roster and works with Matt Hardy, holy crap, they're going to get creative. But yeah, Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy go over. They used a new Twist of Fate double team maneuver.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like a wheelbarrow Twist of Fate combination.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but interesting.
Yeah, usually Bray would do the Sister Abigail, but slingshot the opponent into Matt Hardy, and he does the twist of fate.
Right. Yeah.
So Saudi Arabia, they will face. Do they face Thebar, or is there still one more?
No,
team
they're facing the Bludgeon Brothers.
No, it's for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Sorry, what am I saying? Yeah, they'll be fighting the Bar for the tag team titles.
Okay.
After that, it was backstage with the arrival of Breezango to Raw.
They run into Thebar, talking about how they can't wait to be 5-time tag team champions, and here come Fashion Police to basically say, "Buckle up, buckaroo. We got ourselves a couple of fashion faux pas." And they give them a couple of tickets violating
Fashion tickets.
Fashion tickets. To their credit, the Bar doesn't dress in an actual style that's really fashionable, with their kilts, their jackets, the t-shirts, the sunglasses, and their haircut. Basically calling us saying, "You guys wearing dresses? What is that? Camouflage jackets? Look at your hair."
Yeah, the whole Fashion Police gimmick is just, I find it really stupid.
Well, it's comedy wrestling. There has to be some kind of comedy in it, but also so going back to the Matt Hardy Bray thing, had they shown up in WWE with the broken IP, we could have fast tracked this whole Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt thing by a year.
Oh, definitely.
Like, looking at it now, Jeff Hardy wouldn't have been injured because Matt would have been busy with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And then you could have sent Jeff over to SmackDown. Perfect. Let him do his thing. But like, Bray was in limbo for a year, losing to Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor. Like, he wasn't doing anything for the last year.
No.
And now this year, like, I kind of see that he doesn't much want this, because now he's playing second fiddle to Matt Hardy in the Woken gimmick instead of the leader of the cult leader of his own family.
Well, I mean, Wyatt family hasn't been a thing in...
Right, but when he was on SmackDown, that was the thing. Like, he had his Wyatt family, he had his thing, and then he gets sent over to Raw, and then he has nothing. They don't give him anything.
It's because it wasn't giving him anything with the Wyatt family. They were still losing at pay-per-views. They were still losing week after week.
Right, but then after he got separated from them, the whole year, like, that's the problem with Bray Wyatt, is every feud he is in, he loses. Every major match he has, he loses.
But it's a better story for him being a singles wrestler. It just so happened that for Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, their singles gimmick is horrible.
Right, because, yeah, Eric Rowan didn't really have a gimmick.
Well, Eric Rowan kept getting hurt and then not finding a gimmick for him.
Yeah, it kept going this thing where Rowan would be hurt, he'd come back, Harper be hurt, he'd come back, Rowan be hurt. And then they just shelve Harper until they could just repackage both of them at the same time.
Yeah. But even with Eric Rowan, it was like...
It's really hard to care about him.
It is. Like, he would always come out in the janitor suit.
Yeah, the one piece.
And it'd be like, he's not even in a match, he's just, like, doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And then he's not on for, like, 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Which also goes into the Breezango. When they were hot, that was the time you put the tag team titles on them. Because then, even when they lose it, like, even they lost it 2 days later, after a pay-per-view win, they can still rest on the fact that they were tag team champions, that their biggest moment, they were tag team champions.
Yeah. But I feel like their biggest moment was when they weren't actually fighting, but every week they had the fashion files on the screen.
Yeah.
That, I don't see how that would make, like, highlight of SmackDown. But that's what it was at the time.
Yeah.
That literally was the highlight of SmackDown.
So hopefully maybe, with Raw being 3 hours, they could fit a fashion file or two in there.
But now, when they were doing those fashion files, weren't they always resulting to 2B?
That was what they were building towards, yeah. But they, for some reason, they kept delaying the Bludgeon Brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why would Breezango go to Raw if Bludgeon Brothers debut on SmackDown, stay on SmackDown, and never have them in a rivalry?
They did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, when they first debuted, Bludgeon Brothers showed up, beat the hell out of them. Ascension stepped in, for their honor, got beat up, and then both teams got beat up, and then Bludgeon Brothers just went through the tag team roster, and that led up to their attack on the Usos and the New Day at Fastlane.
Okay.
And that's how they got put into that title picture.
Okay. Another call up to Raw, we had Natalya.
Yeah, so they interviewed her.
No, they interviewed Ronda Rousey.
Right. And then Natalya came in, and we learned that Natalya was one of the people that trained Ronda.
Yeah.
In preparation for her wrestling debut.
Yeah. Following that interview, we had Ember Moon versus Mickie James with Nia Jax on commentary.
Yeah. So, just getting back to Natalya. So, she was saying in the interview she hopes while she's on Monday Night Raw, she goes down as the best there is, best there was, best there will be. But then, Ronda, slowly tilts her head, and then Natalya's just like, well, maybe, second best that there was will be. But yeah, Mickie James, Ember Moon. Ember goes over with the Eclipse, and holy hell, Mickie James sold it like a champ.
Oh.
It was a slingshot. It was basically like when The Rock would take Austin's Stone Cold Stunner, and he would do that backflip roll.
Yeah. No, she's been in the game so long, she knows how to sell a move like that.
Yeah. She wants to put over a young talent,
It
too.
honestly looked like she died.
Yeah. And that, believe it or not, that's what Ember was in NXT. So while Asuka was doing her thing, Ember was climbing the ranks, and she was undefeated. So when those two faced each other, it was the first time that there were two undefeated people for a title facing each other. And then Asuka went over by using dirty tactics. She put her feet up on the rope, and she went up to the top rope to do the Eclipse, and she bumped into the ropes, put her down, and then she rolled her up and did that. And that was how she would lose. So she didn't get beaten in a clean way, but she got beaten dirty, which still keeps her credibility up.
Okay. Just following up with that, I just feel that Ember Moon's character is eventually, supposedly that she's teaming up with Nia Jax at the time being.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Ember Moon would eventually turn on Nia, go for the WWE Women's title, and then Alexa Bliss would step back in, and they would maybe have a goddess versus goddess rivalry, because Ember Moon is claiming that she's the warrior goddess.
So the thing about that is, with Ember coming off of her NXT Women's title loss to Shayna Baszler before WrestleMania weekend, and entering Monday Night Raw, she's pretty much a fish out of water. She has to earn the right to challenge for the title, so maybe by SummerSlam she could have earned the right.
Well, that's
to
what I
face
mean.
Nia Jax.
Build up the tag team, kind of like what Orton did with Bray.
Yeah.
Gain the trust and then turn.
I don't think it would be smart for her to turn heel just because of the amount of heels that are on Raw right now.
Well, she kind of already is.
Who, Ember Moon?
Yeah.
How? She helped Nia.
Well, Nia's basically turning heel.
Nia turned face.
She's always been face.
No, she's been paired with Alexa Bliss for the last 2 years. She's been a heel by association with Alexa Bliss being a heel. And then when Alexa Bliss turned her back on her, then she sort of turns face, but now she's doing the whole Apollo Crews I smile all the time thing. That's what faces do. They smile.
All right.
Too much.
We go backstage after that to the locker room where Kevin and Sammy are wondering about their match for the night. And this, again, it just annoys me how Miz walks into the picture, turns the focus onto him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's coming in and it's like, oh, I'm going to SmackDown. We got to make this the best match ever.
Yeah, the grand finale to my Raw career.
Like, it has nothing to do with you. This is the first match Kevin and Sammy are earning, basically, on Raw.
Yeah, it's their first official match as Raw Superstars. But there was also a moment where Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas were kind of talking and figuring out, okay, with him going away, what do we do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, again, that's what I was thinking. Like, they're probably just going to get released after this.
Yeah.
We got Dolph Ziggler coming back to Raw.
So, one little thing about Dolph, so remember when he was doing his whole, it's not the superstar that's important, it's their gimmick?
Yep.
So
and he was coming out as John Cena,
Undertaker, DX, and all these other people. And then when he has his match against Bobby Roode, he has no entrance video, no entrance music. It's just
nothing.
Just nothing. But then when he comes back, when he debuted at the Royal Rumble, he got his music back. And then as weeks go on, he starts with no Titantron, no music, and then it goes into his old music.
Yeah.
It's one or the other, dude. Like, pick one. Or get new music.
I mean, you can't do better than what he has right now, though. It's a pretty good entrance.
It's just I don't see the difference between the guy that won a U.S. title, vacated the U.S. title, the guy who wanted to prove the fact that it's not the person, it's the gimmick that matters, and now it's the guy who wants to be in the main event picture, but he's still being the same guy. There's nothing differentiating himself anymore. Like, it's not like as The Undertaker goes through the years, he changes subtly. He adds different things to his outfit, to his wardrobe, to his ring attire, to his entrance, to his moveset, to evolve the character. Instead of just being this undead guy, he goes to a literal Undertaker, to a biker, to now an undead biker, to he's really old.
Yeah. But with Ziggler being out there, he's interrupted by Titus Worldwide. Worldwide!
Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. He got his last name back.
Were they not saying his last name?
No. He was just Apollo for a couple of months.
He has earned his last name back then.
Yeah. Well, like when they were feuding with the Bar, it was just Apollo.
Never noticed that.
Yeah. It was so dumb. And Dana Brooke was there too.
Well, of course, Dana. She crunches the numbers.
She's
got to be there.
Numbers. She's the statistician.
She's got to be there.
Statistician who stacked. See what I did there?
Yes, Danny. Then Ziggler announces that he didn't come to Raw alone.
Well, first, Titus Worldwide wants to recruit Dolph Ziggler to Titus Worldwide, and Dolph's
not having it.
No, it's just like, dude, I've been in a Spirit Squad. I had the Island of Misfit Toys when I had AJ Lee and Biggie Langston. Like, it doesn't work for me, you know? And yeah, he didn't come to Raw alone. Out comes Drew McIntyre from out of nowhere. Dude.
The return of McIntyre.
The chosen one. Former Intercontinental Champion, former NXT Champion. He's been out for a while. So when he lost his NXT title, right at the end of the match, he dislocated his shoulder or his bicep.
Right.
So he'd been injured from then till now.
Right.
And a lot of people thought that when he got back from injury, he was going to stay in NXT, feud with Andre Cien Almas, the guy who beat him for the NXT title, who would then lose it to Aleister Black. And people thought he would be in NXT for another year. Lo and behold, here he is on the main roster, and he's with Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah, I don't know what they're planning with that, whether they're going to form a tag team or he just announced that, hey, here's another person joining Raw.
Yeah, so he shows up, and so he attacks both Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews from behind. Dana Brooke's like, fuck this. And then they pick up, I think, Titus, and they chuck him into the ring post. really hard. And then they set up this zigzag Celtic big boot thing.
Yeah.
So they just timed it so right. By the time he booted him in the face, it was a zigzag right away.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty cool move.
Yeah. But Drew McIntyre now compared to when he was on SmackDown TV, I want to say 10 years ago?
It was probably, yeah.
Maybe 2012, because back then it was 3MB.
Right, yeah. When he debuted, it was probably 10 years ago, and then just every gimmick he had was horrible.
Yeah. Well, then he got put in the Job Squad and then released with Jinder and Heath. But there's a huge difference in his body.
Yeah.
Dude is thick.
Yeah.
He is everything the WWE wants. He's Scottish or Irish. He's foreign. He's brick shit house. He's tall. They like tall guys. And he's got a beard now, and he's just a badass. Does CrossFit.
Yeah. Yeah, his gimmick should definitely become better.
You CrossFit, you can cross fuck off.
Okay, we're not doing Letterkenny here.
Oh, so.
You can't just make quotes like that.
What? It's a good show.
Well, I'm not denying that, but they could own rights to it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, what happened after that?
After that, we had Mandy Rose versus Natalya.
Okay, so Natalya's first match with Raw Superstar, kind of clunky.
Well, I mean,
Mandy Rose isn't really good. She's improved, but she's not that good.
She's kind of hot.
Well, yeah, I like her for much different reasons. I like Sonya Deville because she's terrifying and she's a good wrestler, but I like Mandy Rose for much different reasons.
Yeah. I found it weird that Absolution was still using Paige's entrance.
Yeah. Well, because, they re-debuted with her, so they really haven't found... Since Paige retiring, they really haven't found a new entrance for them.
Still,
It's this whole thing with Dolph. They need new entrances. It's just people are lazy.
Yeah. Overall, the match was pretty fast, I think.
Yeah.
Natalya winning with the world-famous sharpshooter from the Hart family.
Yep. Then Sonya Deville comes in, beats her up. Mandy Rose beats her up too.
And then saved by Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, out comes a wild Ronda Rousey. And then this is an ongoing gag where Sonya Deville thinks she's hot shit, gets back in the ring, wants to spar with Ronda Rousey, and quickly realizes that she doesn't.
You got former UFC champion versus MMA fighter.
Yeah.
How's this gonna turn out?
Let's find out together. So Ronda beats her up. Mandy Rose is like, I don't want to do that.
I'm not qualified.
Yeah, I'm underqualified for this, sir. And now it spawns this friendship between her and Natalya, so most likely it's going to lead to Backlash, a tag team match between the two of them.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, because I think that's what they're going to do for Ronda, is she will be a pay-per-view attraction strictly.
She's not really getting the weekly matches just yet.
She gets weekly appearances leading up to a pay-per-view, which is smart. If it's okay...
It doesn't lead up to much, though. She's just coming out to do an interview and then save someone.
Save someone or kick somebody's ass.
Yeah, but, it's not... If it's something different every week, that doesn't lead up to anything new for the pay-per-view that happens every 4 weeks.
Well, that's why you gotta keep it creative. For Absolution has been the muscle for Stephanie McMahon. So getting through that, then she can start going into the women's division.
True.
Because that's been the whole thing, is Absolution has really been, besides Dana Brooke, who, non-statistician Dana Brooke, for some reason they're different people.
When she was Charlotte's piggyback.
Yeah, she still goes back to that, but then when she's Titus Worldwide, she's statistician, and for some reason the two characters live simultaneously on Monday Night Raw.
Well, when she's the fighter, she's all cocky and it's like, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful. When she's statistician, she's just, I crunch numbers.
Yeah, I crunch the numbers.
I have a cranium. So after we have all that, we have the announcement of Baron Corbin on Raw.
Yeah, so he was one of the guys that didn't show up live. Instead, they got a video package made for him.
Yeah.
Which was nice. Money in the Bank winner. They didn't throw in Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. I think that should, like, if they went in chronological order, it should have been Battle Royal winner, Money in the Bank, U.S. title winner.
I mean, if you're gonna go in order from what he's accomplished, yeah.
Because he didn't accomplish anything in NXT, so there's nothing to highlight there.
Yeah.
But also because when he won the Battle Royal, it was on the main card. Because him and Cesaro won their matches on the main card. The rest of them have been in the pre-show.
And he was in the Royal Rumble year prior to winning the Battle Royal, right?
No. His first appearance was in the Battle Royal.
Was it?
Yeah, because he debuted in the Battle Royal and then he showed up on SmackDown. Oh wait, no, it was before the brand split. So yeah, that was his roster debut.
The Battle Royal?
Yeah.
Okay. I could have sworn I remember seeing him debut in a Royal Rumble as like a surprise entry before he moved up to the main card.
I remember, like, as far as NXT call-ups in the Royal Rumble last year,
I want to say
Ty Dillinger was really the only one when he came out at number 10.
Well, of course he had to be number 10.
Yeah, but that was a surprise. Like, that was the only real surprise.
It wasn't really a surprise.
Well,
people were calling for it.
It would have been nice. Like, that's what people were hoping for. Like, this would be nice. And then when it happened, they were like, and then they got eliminated and like, oh yeah, we remember now.
Okay. So we have the tag team match of Breezango versus The Bar after that.
Yeah. After failing to pay their fashion faux pas tickets, it now results in a match.
With a very stunning upset victory for Breezango.
Mm-hmm.
Like, The Bar cannot be losing to tag teams like that. Especially when they're going for the tag team titles.
Mm-hmm. So they're setting up for the white noise double team from the top rope.
Right.
And then you go to tag in Sheamus. Fandango comes out of nowhere, trips Sheamus off the turnbuckle.
Right.
And then leads up to a roll-up. Tyler Breeze pins Cesaro. Had he had pinned Sheamus, that would have been the bigger win for him, because Sheamus is a former four-time world champion.
That's very true.
But then...
What's Cesaro got?
U.S. champion, tag team champion, first ever Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. I'm pretty sure he's
and known for having his teeth shoved up his jaw.
Yeah, and wearing that mouth guard. Finishing the match, by the way.
Yeah, bravo
Taking
for him.
Super kicks and DDTs.
Yeah, he was a trooper during that match.
Yeah, that was a great match too. Holy hell.
Well, let's focus on this match here.
Yeah. Well, it ends, and then it's a good win for those two. Breezango.
It's a good way to start being on Raw, but
you want to start your career on Raw with a win, especially a big win.
And that's probably why they had that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can't have the Bar losing to a tag team like that when they're going for the titles in like 2 weeks.
Same, but it's also the same point when you have the Club and the Revival. They keep facing each other, and most of the time the Revival's losing. But then when it comes to a tournament, the Club loses. So it's that double-edged sword of one of these teams have to lose. Or, here's the other point, don't fucking book them in the same match. Don't have these two tweener tag teams face each other.
Yeah. So once we have that match through, we have Elias in an interview with Renee Young.
Rachel Young. He knows her. When you know someone long enough, you call them Rachel.
Yep. Yeah, I found that to be very funny. Just knowing that her name is Renee and just calling her Rachel, it makes for a good laugh.
Yeah, he's quite unhappy at the treatment that Bobby Lashley gave him last week.
Yeah, he was talking some good shit about him.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for there, Elias. This is better Brock Lesnar you're talking about. So he tries to get a quick song in, and Ray's just like, dude, we don't have
time. I don't want to hear it.
We don't have time.
Just walks away.
Just walks away. Oh, I gotta be lying for this. So Elias wants to prove that the WWE walks with Elias, but then Renee Young walks away from Elias. Put it on a shirt!
Famous Danny quote, everyone.
Yep, put on a shirt. Is this the main event now?
Yes, we have the main event, 10-man tag team.
So it's the Miztourage, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Braun Strowman,
Bobby Lashley.
I'm really surprised they put him in this match.
Bobby Lashley and Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode is the final pick that was televised.
To go to Raw.
Yeah. Just so we get this out of the way, there were 5 other people chosen to Raw that weren't revealed through commercials. The rest of them were released like in the Raw Fallout YouTube channel videos. You have Mike Kanellis, Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder, Baron.
You think they'll start up the Hype Bros again?
No, that was a big mistake for them. Splitting them up at the wrong time, but also putting them back on the same show. They keep one on SmackDown.
You can't put them on the same show and not expect people to think Hype Bros, Hype Bros, Hype Bros.
Yeah, and there was somebody else. There was Mike Kanellis, Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley, Chad Gable.
Splitting up another tag team with him.
WWE doesn't like tag teams.
WWE doesn't like Chad Gable in a tag team.
And also, the Ascension is also on Raw now, too.
That's right.
Really bolstering up that tag team division. But yeah, Bobby Roode comes out. He's the last pick for Monday Night Raw. Comes 10-man tag. It's alright as far as 10-man tag team matches go.
It just seemed like a cluttered match.
Yeah, there was a lot of moving parts there. When you want to get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's stuff in. You want Bobby Lashley to look good. This is his first match back, but then you want Bobby Roode to look good because this is his first match on Raw.
Exactly. But when you look at that tag team match, like, you got a stacked team facing Miztourage.
Yeah.
Like, you got Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley alone. They're the muscle of the team. Then you got Balor and Rollins, who are literally the techniques.
Literally the 2 best wrestlers on Raw.
Yeah. And then, Bobby Roode's just for glory.
Yeah. Glorious. So, okay, I wanted to tell you this story about Bobby Roode real quick. So when Bobby Roode first showed up in NXT, he started doing these, like, wild Bobby Roode appearances. So you got Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and they're doing this whole, like, video diary thing. But every time they start filming, a wild Bobby Roode shows up, and the Glorious song starts playing, and then right when it gets to that, they start bobbing their heads together, and then he walks away, and they're both just like, yeah. So they do it in the hotel rooms, on the bus, in the bathrooms, in the gym. Like, they do it everywhere. And it's a nice little video diary thing.
I actually really like the ending of this match.
Yeah. So, for the listeners, there was a wrestling event, the Road to WrestleMania, that led to Kitchener, Ontario, which is close to where we live. It's the first time WWE's been in Kitchener in 14 years. Main event of that was Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, and the Miztourage. The match leading up to the ending was like how we saw, except the Miztourage abandoning the Miz.
As he's ready to tag them in.
Yeah, and realizing their meal ticket is essentially gone, we're in this with ourselves. And much like what happened in Kitchener, Miz slowly gets up, realizes that there's a wild Braun Strowman behind him, slowly and dramatically using that acting ability to his credit, turning around, and then Braun! Power slam, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so overall that was a very good show.
There was one thing we did skip though. The Woe Is Me Roman Reigns promo. Interrupted by Samoa Joe, basically telling him, you ain't shit, your mama ain't shit, Brock's gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat you. Roman calling him a lazy fat ass and to get his ass down to the ring. Joe being the amazing Samoa Joe he is, First walks up, walks away. Then he realizes that he was called fat. Starts to get infuriated.
Throws his towel.
Throws his towel down that collects the sweat. He goes back to the ring and then turns around like, nah, man.
I fought you on my time.
I fought you on my time.
My time, brother.
Bump, 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 bump. Picks up the towel.
But then, again, that actually makes no sense now to why they wanted to do that, because Samoa Joe got drafted to SmackDown.
So the Backlash logo is blue with the red L. So what I think is they were hinting at whoever gets traded, the matches stand. It's just now it's interpromotional.
You might interfere with it.
Yeah, because now Backlash is the start of co-branded pay-per-views. But this is going to be the first pay-per-view that has interpromotional matches. So unless this is Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, or WrestleMania, this is the lone interpromotional pay-per-view that's going to have all these matches. So SmackDown wrestlers competing for Raw titles, vice versa, kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're doing co-branded pay-per-views now, because like you're just adding too many pay-per-views when they're separate.
I just hope that it doesn't get too cluttered. Like, the problem with WrestleMania was it was so long, but also like, WrestleMania had
it's
8
WrestleMania.
title matches. So almost every pay-per-view, is it going to be 8 title matches?
I don't think so.
Like, are they going to, like, slow build some titles? Like, maybe keep it safe for once?
I can see them having at least the main titles, like
World titles,
the world titles and Intercontinental and US, maybe.
Yeah.
Tag teams, maybe every other, or
yeah,
similar to that.
And then one of the women's titles would be on the line.
Yeah, maybe like go back and forth with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just something you gotta experience. Just seeing, it's gonna be these titles on the line, it's going to be those ones on the line.
Yeah.
Next month you see different titles on the line.
Sort of make booking pay-per-views a little bit easier instead of having 2 pay-per-views a month, and most of them aren't good. Some of them are okay, but like when you take the good parts of SmackDown, good parts of Raw, and you make it a pay-per-view, those are the pay-per-views you should be releasing instead of...
That's called SummerSlam.
It is called SummerSlam. But yeah, Raw was a good show.
Yeah, very good show.
Yeah.
Going over to SmackDown now.
Okay.
Starting the show off with AJ calling out Shinsuke Nakamura.
So, harping back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they did main event Wrestle Kingdom. But there is a thing that you do in New Japan Pro Wrestling in order to instigate matches and feuds. Is you flat out go to the ring, pick up the microphone, and say, Japanese or English, I challenge insert wrestler name. That's how the Kenny Omega-Chris Jericho match happened. Chris Jericho just flat out said, I challenge Kenny Omega. And you say the place, Wrestle Kingdom. And that's how it happens. Granted, Shinsuke Nakamura won their King of the Ring thing. I think it was the G1 Climax is what he won. And at that time, it was Bullet Club versus Shinsuke Nakamura's faction of Chaos. And I'm really hoping that they build a Chaos faction for WWE for Shinsuke. And then have, which is one of the picks that comes down further down the line, which is going to be really, really cool. But no, Shinsuke does not show up to hit AJ Styles in the balls again. Instead, an Native English comes out to sing.
It's Rusev Day!
And as he's saying Day, Rusev rips his shirt like Hulk Hogan. And I was like,
yeah.
And that leads to a really short match.
A very short match with AJ putting in the calf crusher.
Yeah. So pretty much just as soon as it starts, it's just, okay, I'm going to miss.
Couple of punches.
AJ goes in the ropes. Rusev misses. Rolls him with the calf crusher. I really like how he sets up that move.
It's an amazing move.
Yeah.
Only to have it be a disqualification victory for AJ for Made in English.
Yeah. And then
it honestly did look like Rusev was going to tap.
Yeah. Because he kept torquing on that leg and kept because he put his other hand on it and he was torquing even more.
I wonder how much pressure actually gets put on that.
And we can ask Brock the next time we see him.
True.
Yeah.
But then he might just bash your head.
Because he's an ape. But
Danny sound effects, everyone.
Please. But then Daniel Bryan comes out to be the hero of SmackDown.
Yeah, saving AJ from the attack of Aiden English and Rusev.
Mm-hmm. And that would set up the main event of SmackDown, which was a tag team match between AJ and Daniel Bryan versus Rusev and Aiden English.
I feel Paige is actually doing a good job with main events.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for being new to a manager position,
Mm-hmm.
like, she's actually doing a pretty good job for her first 2 weeks.
Well, it's just...
But then again, you're putting Daniel Bryan in the main event picture right away.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
it's what everybody wants.
It's what everyone wants. You can't do wrong with that.
Yeah. And plus, it makes people happy. It's not like it's just like, okay, Roman's on SmackDown now. I guess he has to be in the main event. And everyone's just like, oh, really? Oh.
No, they've waited years for Daniel Bryan to be back in the fighting position, so they're going to soak up every moment they can.
Sucks for Daniel, though, because after every single match,
He has to get
he has
tested.
he has to get tested and cleared. And the second that he's not cleared, that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
Game over, man.
You can't be cleared by every doctor in the world that you go to.
But the WWE doctor is the only one that matters in the WWE. They can take the professional courtesy and advice of all these other doctors into consideration and be like, okay, so he passed all your tests. What about our tests? Because he has to pass our test and my test, and then he's good. If he doesn't,
Exactly.
then...
But, like, how much different is a WWE doctor's test to anyone else's for physical health?
I think it's kind of like, you remember in the Looney Tune cartoons when they dropped an anvil on a guy's head and like the stars and the birds show up and circle?
Then you get the huge lump forming a cone.
You good, Daniel? Oh, so good. All right, you're good. Good to go. if his response was anything other than I'm good, nope.
Yeah.
If it's like
Oh. Anything like Shane when he got body slammed into the metal.
Yeah, the metal crate.
Yeah.
Dad!
They did it again!
Mommy!
So after all that's done, we have Miz showing up on the Jumbotron.
Mm-hmm. Basically saying, Daniel Bryan called me out on Twitter and said, how many of you want to see me punch Miz in the face? The whole crowd was like, yay! And he was like, guess what? I'm in Tampa with my fam, my wife, my baby. I'm going to be on next week with my own spotlight, and I'm going to kick Daniel Bryan's ass. And then Maurice is like, hey, no! Baby.
Language!
Language in front of the baby. Sorry, dear. But she called it Mike.
Which is not
They're in the comfort of their own home.
WWE fans should not know personal names.
Well, tell that to CM Punk when he called out Triple H as Paul Levesque and himself as Phil Brooks. Or when John Cena did it to Miz, calling him Mikey.
Yeah. I mean, it gets out. Nothing you can do about that.
When you Google wrestlers, you find out what their real names are.
Well, yeah, but they're not supposed to announce it on live television.
Well, yeah, that's kayfabe, but still, it's the Miz. He's a heel. He does heel things.
Best heel you can ever have, actually.
Yeah.
So after we have Miz get off the Jumbotron, Shelton Benjamin comes to the ring.
So when Chad Gable was announced going to Raw, he sent a very heartfelt tweet saying how appreciative he was to Chad Gable for being his tag team partner, how much he loves and respects him. But then he revealed to the audience, my Twitter account was hacked. I don't actually feel these things. I'm happy he's gone.
I didn't need Chad Gable. Chad Gable needed him.
Yeah. Well, when they broke up the tag team, when Jason Jordan was Kurt Angle's
American
son,
Alpha.
Yeah. When they broke up that team and Chad Gable was just alone, Daniel Bryan was like, hey man, here's a Shelton Benjamin. I love Shelton Benjamins. He was so happy.
But see, Shelton Benjamin he doesn't have... He's never been that great in singles competition.
I beg to differ. When he showed up on Raw, he beat Triple H 2 weeks in a row. He won the Intercontinental title 4 times, U.S. champion, and then he won more tag team titles further down the line. But he's always been that mid-card, close to the main event.
Well, that's kind of what I mean, though. Like, he's always mid-card. He's never getting up in the main events.
Part of that is when he was around the WWE, he didn't really have enough mic time to really create a personality or do the kind of promos that he did last night.
To get in the main event, you need to have the physical skill and the mic skill.
Mm-hmm. And that was the thing. He just didn't have a personality.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in every Money in the Bank ladder match that he's in, he does.
He does put on a good show on those.
Yeah.
I will admit that.
He will do as many high spots as possible.
Get a ladder in there, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, he'll jump off the thing.
Circling back now, Shelton Benjamin announces that he's basically having an open challenge to whoever is in the back area.
Mm-hmm. He wants big competition.
He has specifically asked for big competition.
I have voices! Randy Orton appears.
Followed, you see Randy Orton stop about halfway down the ramp.
Yeah, he notices his music stops randomly, but his Videotron's still going. He's just like, that's not... Where's the rest of my song?
And then you get Jeff Hardy coming over.
The first pick. Well, second pick. Miz was the first.
Yeah.
But Jeff Hardy coming over to SmackDown with the United States Championship.
United States title still on SmackDown.
Made this joke to Doug when I found out that Jeff got the U.S. title. I thought, wouldn't it be funny if Paige picked Jeff Hardy after Jinder was picked? To kind of be like, you get Jinder and the U.S. title, but how about I pick someone, and if they lose, I still get them, but if I win, I get both. And she did, and it happened. So, and Corey Graves drops this fact in commentary. 10 years ago, Jeff Hardy and Shelton Benjamin competed for the U.S. title. So, back when Shelton was U.S. champion facing Jeff Hardy, now roles are reversed.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was a nice match.
It was a very nice match.
It's good to see Jeff wrestle like a real match instead of, just beat up Jinder for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Having him in a singles competition as well, rather than just being a part of every tag team until they can get him into his own character again.
Yeah. Well, WWE really wants that singles push for Jeff because they know Jeff is money.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves Jeff.
Yeah. Well, Jeff is that one guy that he doesn't have to say anything. He
No,
just shows
his
up.
actions tell everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there were a lot of cool moments in this match. Like Jeff was sitting up, whisper in the wind. Shelton bumps him, and he tries to do something off the rope. Jeff throws him off, but then he does a running. Back in the old days, Shelton would jump off the top rope and catch him and do a belly-to-belly suplex, like Kurt Angle would do. Instead, he does a running knee and catches him with a running knee, and then tries to do it again. Fails, whisper in the wind, and that sets up Twist of Fate, Swanton. Jeff wins his first match on SmackDown.
Yay!
Yay! The good guys win.
After that, we have singles competition between Usos and Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, either Jimmy or Jay Uso versus Luke Harper.
I believe it was Jay
Yeah.
that fought Luke Harper.
Yeah. It's usually one of them wears a shirt and the other one doesn't, or one of them's wearing a sweater and the other one's wearing a t-shirt.
True.
That's usually how you
It was so much easier to tell who's who when they had the face paint on, because one would go one side, the other would do the other side.
Yeah.
But now you never know unless you're listening to the commentary.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a squash match.
Very squash.
Yeah, they tried to do... Eric Rowan tries to interfere. One of the Usos stops him. The other Uso brother tries to attack him, quickly realizes, he's not in the match. Maybe I should just fight Luke Harper. This clothesline, 1, 2, 3. And then they go on to try and just decimate these guys before their match in Saudi Arabia.
Jimmy tries to attack Eric Rowan with his own mallet.
Yeah, he hits Luke Harper, and then Eric Rowan's just like, dude, that's mine.
And then right when they throw Jay Or no, they throw Jimmy into the stairs.
Yeah, but then they also take the Jimmy or Jay, they double team him into the ring itself.
Right.
Throw him into the steel steps, grab their mallets, and they're about ready to...
They're ready to squash his head.
Right, beta.
What was that?
I was pretending like, okay, like, you know that clip in Family Guy where like the two logs are perched up and then
right.
Peter puts his head in the middle, like,
Right.
and
Gets his free hat.
Yeah, gets his free hat. That's what was gonna happen there.
Yeah.
The Usos were gonna have free hats.
But then Naomi, Jimmy's wife, runs down the ramp begging for mercy.
Yeah, so this is really the first time outside of the Mixed Match Challenge that they're...
With their new gimmick of being basically badasses.
Yeah. Because before, when they were wearing face paint, they never really did that either.
No, well, before Naomi really got on her own, she was always like the cheerleader for the Usos.
Right. Before the whole Feel the Glow thing.
Yeah. Before she got all the black light, underglow.
Yeah. Unless
Night
you watch,
party.
Yeah, unless you watch Total Divas or watch the Mixed Match Challenge, you're really just like, oh, they're together, I guess?
Yeah.
But yeah, she can't do that in Saudi Arabia. There aren't any women allowed there. If you notice the Greatest Royal Rumble card, there are 7 championship matches along with the Greatest Royal Rumble, along with Triple H versus John Cena, Undertaker versus Rusev in a casket match.
Bringing the Rusev back into that match.
Yeah, first it happened, then he got pulled out, Chris Jericho got inserted, now it's happening again.
I have no idea what they're planning with that.
I think it could have just been either a tour date.
He might have had like something that he
With
couldn't
Ozzy.
make it to.
Yeah, or maybe he just didn't get cleared to travel there.
Maybe. After we have that match end, we have an interview with Daniel Bryan backstage, announcing that he will fight side by side with AJ tonight in the main event.
Yeah, basically saying, I respect AJ. If there's...
He's come back to SmackDown with a role to... I'm forgetting the word here. Help me out, Danny.
His role on SmackDown be the hero? Is that-
Yeah, I was looking for a different word, but it'll work.
Okay. Yeah, he made a list of wrestlers he wants to face, and AJ is at the top of that list because he respects him and he believes that he is the best wrestler on SmackDown.
Yeah. And then newest member of SmackDown interrupts it.
Yeah, so Renee is in mid-question, and then she sees what Daniel Bryan sees, man boobs.
7 foot tall, not actually 7 foot tall. Big Cass.
Big Cass comes back from injury. He's been out since post SummerSlam, nursing, pretty sure it was an ACL injury.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to Enzo Amore.
Yeah, thanks to Enzo Amore, who he will no longer talk about. But oddly enough, he targets Daniel Bryan because he's short like Enzo.
I guess.
So you're the one they're talking about, little man. Walks away off that insult.
Yeah, like
that was the best you
little
could
man's
do.
an insult.
Daniel's just like, that was it, dude. Enzo was your manager for a year. That's it.
You were managed by a little man. And then we also have Samoa Joe return to SmackDown. Debut SmackDown.
Debut on SmackDown. He's the next pick, and he decimates Sin Cara, who should be on 205 Live.
He's probably like just over the mark of 205.
Maybe. Him and Blake Murphy have that in common now.
Actually, he might actually be like mid 200s. Like he could be 230.
His midsection's a little wide, yeah.
I think I read something about that he was way over it actually.
But yeah, he destroys Sin Cara. First, he hits him with like multiple knees to the head. Sin Cara goes down. Referee's like, dude, no more. It's over. It's good. But then he's like, nah, it ain't over yet. Coquina clutch. I really don't like the Coquina clutch. It's like Taz's mission. I get it. Like Samoa Joe is Taz, but his finisher in NXT, I think it's like Coquina Buster, where he puts him in the top rope, he does that kick that he does, that jumping kick to the head, and then that's when he sets it up where he puts the dude's head on his shoulder, grabs both legs, and then he drops them so it's the shoulders, neck, and head that hit the ring, and then he sets up the coquina clutch.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good setup move and finisher, but when you're facing guys like Brock Lesnar, a sleeper hold can only get you so far.
Exactly. Like, it's an easy way to win because you're basically just suffocating the person.
It adds to Samoa Joe's character or his mixed martial arts background to have a submission-based finisher.
Yeah. It honestly works with his character, though.
Mm-hmm. He's very ruthless in that.
Yeah. He doesn't let up whatsoever.
And then we get a promo from Samoa Joe post-match calling out Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, basically saying, I'm going to humiliate, dismantle...
Basically just conquer
everyone.
SmackDown.
Yeah, and that would be awesome. I want that to happen. If they're going for, like, the WWE picture for WrestleMania next year, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, there it is. Please take my money now.
Insert GIF.
Yeah, insert GIF.
Or not GIF, meme.
Yeah.
And then we get a series of debuts to SmackDown.
So this is one of the things with Raw being the better show, but SmackDown having better picks, was Raw had more opportunities to showcase their picks versus SmackDown being a 2-hour show they could only put so many people on, which was kind of our fear for the week before when the Dynamic Duo were the only ones that showed up, the Iconics.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got vignettes for the Club. So the Club's coming back to SmackDown to be with AJ Styles. Hopefully.
Yeah, Gallows and Anderson to SmackDown. We also saw Chaos debut.
Well, Sanity. They're called Sanity. It's just, it said Chaos arrives because they believe in starting chaos. So Alexander Wolf, Eric Young, Killian Dane.
Okay. We also had Andrade Cien Almas
and his manager / business partner, Zelina Vega?
Zelina.
Zelina Vega, yeah. It's like Selena, but with a Z. It's exotic.
Oh, you said they were Italian or
They're
foreign.
Mexican, yeah.
Foreign.
But yes, Andre Cien Almas is actually an accomplished wrestler, lucha libre, family history. So he comes out of AAA Mexico, goes into NXT and totally just runs shop on the place. Like, the dude is a great wrestler. And he did, like, so when he beat Drew McIntyre to become NXT champion, he goes on this whole tirade of being kind of like JBL when he won the title, like being that fancy guy, like wearing suits, and he's got a hot manager. And insert the Daniel Bryan like wrestler. They have a 5-star match in an NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. He loses it to Aleister Black, and now instead of going for a rematch clause, he's just like, no, I'm good. I like this whole SmackDown thing. And then Sanity being Eric Young, a former TNA alum with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Killian Dane, he competed in a ladder match for the first NXT North American Championship.
Okay.
And he's pretty much like Vader. He's just a big guy who's fast and big and mean. And he's just a brute. He just hurts people. And it's hilarious. And Alexander Wolf is the one guy in Sanity I have the least knowledge of. But him and Eric Young were NXT Tag Team Champions together.
Okay. So we got all those debuts, and then we have Carmella coming out.
Mm-hmm. She wants to do the Melibration. It's a play on her name.
Mella celebrating winning the women's title last week on SmackDown, only to have it interrupted by Charlotte.
Yeah, coming out saying, listen, I'm not mad that you attacked me when I was at my weakest. In fact, I respect it. Game recognizes game. My father, being the dirtiest playing the game, he would have told me to do exactly that. So I'm not mad. I'm happy for you.
Also explained to her exactly why she had the briefcase and why she won the title.
Right, explaining.
She wouldn't have won the briefcase without the help of Ellsworth.
Yeah.
needing to redo that Money in the Bank women's match the next night on SmackDown, or the following Tuesday on SmackDown,
And then having it ruined again by Ellsworth.
but still having Carmella actually grab the briefcase this time, and then only winning the title because Charlotte was attacked by Billie Kay and Peyton Royce.
Well, that's really what you want to do when you are a Money in Bank winner. Like, pretty much...
You pounce on the weak one.
Exactly. Like, the only exceptions that I can think of as far as Money in the Bank goes, RVD, he cashed in at ECW One Night Stand. He gave John Cena a whole month's notice. He's like, dude, I want my shot at W Championship at ECW One Night Stand. The biggest moment in my ECW career. I want to cultivate it at this event. And then also, Damian Sandow, he challenged John Cena. He was like, tonight, you and me, main event for the title. But then there's also John Cena, when he challenged CM Punk, he gave him a week's notice. Those two are the only ones that fucked up. John Cena, John Cena, Damian Sandow, and Baron Corbin are the only ones to fuck up their cash-ins.
Well, Baron Corbin's was just hilarious.
Yeah, because Jinder beat him.
Yeah. Thanks to the distraction of John Cena.
Oh, because it was funnier because the kid realized what he did, and she's like, dude, this is his moment. What are you doing?
We could have had the title off of Jinder.
You could have taken it off of Jinder. You fucked up. And now you double fucked up because Jinder's still champion. And then he triple fucked up because then he buried Baron in the first match of SummerSlam.
And...
So yeah, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, they come out to do what they did last week to just Charlotte.
Make fun of Charlotte for complaining for losing the title. Actually start attacking them.
Yeah.
And then for reinforcement, Becky Lynch comes out to defend Charlotte's honor.
Yeah. One of the two of the four horsewomen that are still friends, unlike Bayley and Sasha, who can't get their shit together. Yeah. So that led to the match.
Led to the match between Charlotte and Billie Kay.
Yeah.
Only to have Charlotte win via the figure eight.
Yeah.
And then have Peyton Royce attack Charlotte from behind. Or it was Carmella. Carmella was on commentary.
She was at the commentary table, but she didn't have a headset, which I think that's not something.
No, if you're at the table, you have a mic.
Yeah, even if you don't say anything, put the headset on so you can tell Byron to shut up.
As everyone does.
Shut up, Byron! This was something that happened last week. So when Carmella won the title and Byron's saying something, Corey Graves pulls out a pencil from his ear, throws it at him, but then pulls out a magic trick, pulls a pencil from his sleeve, throws another one at him. Corey Graves is great.
So that attack by Carmella led to Becky being attacked by Billie and Peyton.
Yeah, 3-on-2 assault. Carmella on Charlotte Flair being like, I beat you, I'm better than you, and all of a sudden Asuka's music hits. Asuka is officially a part of SmackDown.
And she just cleans out the ring.
Oh, she kills everyone.
Like no one but Charlotte has been a match for her.
Yeah. Sort of Nia Jax, but not really.
Not really. There's not much you can do against Nia Jax.
Other problem was unless Nia was the champion, Nia losing versus Asuka losing, it was a lose-lose. Like, nobody gained from that. So if their matches kept being a draw, then you still protect their records, and Nia Jax can still go on lossless to her title win.
Yeah. So once that match is over, we have backstage on the jumbo screen with New Day walking down the hall, welcoming R-Truth.
Yeah, leading up to that, for some reason, Big E needed a helping hand walking from a poor intern in exchange for Bootios.
Right. Right.
So Bootios.
He just wanted a piggyback.
Yeah, but
But the guy just wanted Bootios.
Yeah, he just wanted Bootios. It's like, sir, will this make me unbooty? Yeah, it'll make you unbooty. Is booty bad? Booty is bad. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Have some Bootios.
I think that's a new. It's either a new box or a new flavor.
Probably a new flavor. Probably honey.
Honey Nut Bootios. That'd be great. God, we should be making money off that. But yeah, R-Truth is on SmackDown. He's getting some love from the New Day because they respect him so much. In comes Ty Dillinger.
Returning Ty Dillinger.
Where was he?
Hurt.
When?
Did you not notice that he was not a part of any show for the longest time?
He was in Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He did the whole 10 delete spot.
Okay, but before that, he wasn't on for months.
He was on Fastlane. He was on the pre-show match with him, Zack Ryder.
Okay, you're going from Fastlane to WrestleMania.
Yeah. So he was just hurt. He wasn't doing TV events?
He wasn't on SmackDown or Raw for months. He might have done live events. He might have done pay-per-views as just surprise entrances.
Well,
but
Fastlane was the last pay-per-view before Mania. So he was at Mania and Fastlane. So unless... Was he at the Royal Rumble? So it was probably before then.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember when, but he definitely was hurt.
Mm. But yeah, Ty doesn't get a lot of TV time. They don't really know what to do with him. His gimmick is he has a high collar.
Yeah. But yeah, Ty Dillinger officially back to SmackDown.
Yeah.
R-Truth, real psyched about being back with those guys. So psyched that he calls SmackDown Monday Night Raw.
He doesn't call it, he believes it. He believes that he's on Monday Night Raw. And it's just like, dude, this is SmackDown, man. Come on, Truth.
But that's just his gimmick. He
That
gets
is-
paid thousands of dollars to...
He makes six figures to do ridiculous things. And I can commend him for it because he's been wrestling for a very long time.
Yeah.
But him going to SmackDown, I really don't care for, just because it doesn't add anything. He's been injured for a long time, so I mean, he doesn't really need to be there. He gets paid regardless.
Yeah. And when he is on, he's being an idiot.
He's being an idiot or he's losing.
Yeah. So we have that backstage, and then it's announced that the Bar is on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. Those two and Joe, like, those are the biggest picks for SmackDown.
Yeah. But I feel like with the Bar going to SmackDown, that kind of guarantees the loss at Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that will continue on. Braden,
And I feel like, yeah, they're just going to get the titles at that match.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine. It just confirms that they're on SmackDown. Oh, that'd be hilarious, though. SmackDown wrestlers holding the Raw titles. That'd be hilarious.
Exactly. Like, they just have to go back to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't have the Raw Tag Team titles on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So that brings us to the main event. The tag match with Daniel Bryan and AJ versus Rusev and Aiden English.
Mm-hmm.
As always, everyone's doing the yes movement for Daniel Bryan once he finally gets tagged in.
Yeah, it's Yes Movement versus Rusev Day.
It's a pretty even chant.
Yeah. Biggest chant from back then versus the biggest chant now.
Yeah. Like, it's split dead center with the crowd going back and forth with it.
Mm-hmm.
Good for Daniel Bryan blocking Rusev's super kick after basically getting distracted by Aiden English.
Yeah. I always fear... I'm afraid for Daniel Bryan now just because the super kick has become a lot more of a reoccurring move instead of a finisher.
That's true.
And
well, he kind of has to be because, like, when he used to do it, he was barefoot.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more contact now.
Yeah, there's less cushion, I guess. It's just pure bone.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting enough, you just see in the background with AJ on the apron, you see Shinsuke Nakamura give him another uppercut to the nuts
Yeah, Daniel Bryan's sitting
from
up.
the apron.
He's sitting up the running knee. He hits it, but then he sees Shinsuke nut shot AJ Styles once again. This is his gimmick. Nut shots.
Which I don't know why they even announced that the ref didn't see it, because it wouldn't have affected the match.
Well,
It wouldn't have counted as disqualification because he wasn't the legal man.
it still counts as disqualification because he is involved in the match directly. Like, remember earlier when it was Jimmy or Jey Uso versus Luke Harper, when one of the Uso brothers who wasn't in the match hit Luke Harper, that's a disqualification because it's outside interference directly. Versus if a tag team wrestler is getting hit on the ropes, referee doesn't see it. But then it doesn't matter because Big Cass came in and big boot Daniel Bryan, so that's the disqualification you're looking for.
Yeah. So that's SmackDown.
Yeah, so
Question remains for you though. Which show was better?
Raw was the better show overall, but SmackDown has the better picks.
I can agree with that. They get The Miz,
Samoa Joe. They got
Jeff Hardy.
Now they got some good NXT call-ups in Andre Cien Almas, Sanity. Oh, so thing to note for Sanity. Sanity has a chick in them called Nikki Cross. She wasn't called up.
Okay.
So she'll be in NXT for a little bit. She'll probably have another year. Then she'll come up on the main roster and do something with them. But what I'm thinking is for that, Sanity debuts with Shinsuke, and so that's your Chaos faction, like New Japan had, and then Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows show up for AJ, and then you have Bullet Club OGs versus New Chaos. Because that's what WWE wants. They want to prove that, okay, Bullet Club is the coolest thing around, but guess what? We have Bullet Club, the original Bullet Club. Yeah, Finn's on Raw. That makes
you
me
have
mad,
you have
so.
3/4 of Bullet Club.
We have 3/4 of Bullet Club on one show. I'm kind of unhappy Finn isn't on SmackDown though. I really wanted that.
It makes sense though because Raw had Balor Club ever since the three of them got on the same show.
Well, yeah, Finn.
They didn't use them.
Yeah, since the brand split happened, yeah, it was the club and Finn Balor showed up, but it took them so long just to say, all right, you guys are going to be in a 6-man tag team match tonight. Why couldn't they just, when Finn came back, then put the two of them with them, then that's Balor Club. Then it would have been a whole year of Balor Club.
Yeah. No, they need to get on that stuff faster.
Yeah. Like, if you have the chance to buy the hottest wrestling IP, buy it.
Yeah.
Just get it over with. TNA needs the money. They can't even pay their superstars on time. That will pay for a couple of salaries. But yeah, Raw was the better show, but SmackDown is the better pick. SmackDown is going to have an amazing show for the next year.
As long as the writers don't screw it up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be better now because now they have so much more to work with. Because before...
Yeah, they have much better talent now.
Yeah, because before it was, all right, we got Fashion Files. Okay, their segment was good, but as far as a match goes, you're not going to get a 5-star match out of them. But then also you got to write good storylines for Jinder. We have to put this guy over because we're trying to get into the India market. That didn't really turn out so well, but we're trying to make a star out of Jinder.
Yeah. Which, they're not... I can't see Jinder ever getting up in the card to be Universal Champion.
The problem with the Universal title scene, besides the fact that Brock's the champion, besides the fact that we're eventually going to get Roman Reigns as Universal Champion, whether it's at Saudi Arabia or it's at a pay-per-view between now and SummerSlam, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It should have happened at Mania. Vince just should have stuck to his guns and said, this is happening. But I'm getting what I wanted for Christmas. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and Bobby Lashley will be Universal Champion, and all will be right with the world.
I think that concludes it for this week's episode of DDT.
So,
Also, yes, recapping the shakeup.
right. Oh, like everybody that went
Yeah.
different knows?
Yeah.
Right. So, Monday Night Raw got 19 picks. So, from SmackDown to Raw, Jinder Mahal, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Liz Morgan, aka the Riot Squad, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Zack Ryder, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Natalia, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Connor and Victor, Bobby Roode, Mojo Rawley, Mike Kanellis, Chad Gable, and from NXT, Drew Galloway. And then SmackDown got the new United States Champion, Jeff Hardy, and the United States title back to SmackDown. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Absolution, and Paige is on SmackDown too.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe, Big Cass, Asuka is now officially part of SmackDown, even though she challenged for the SmackDown title, but was still a Raw superstar. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Cesaro and Sheamus, R-Truth, The Miz, Andre Cien Almas, Selena Vega, Sanity, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane. And then from last week, the Iconics. So yeah,
Pretty good shakeup, if you ask me.
it's a lot. It
It is a lot to take in. It's going to take weeks to figure out, oh, right, this person's on the other show.
mm-hmm. But also it's gonna make things interesting because now all the landscapes are different. The tag team landscape's a lot more balanced. The world title scene is going to be much more even. And now each show has their certain stars in every tier. The main event tier, the mid-card tier, and everywhere else.
Yeah. Now I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, that wraps up DDT, Doug and Danny Talk. Tune in next week for our next episode.
Let us know what you thought in the comments.
I'm Danny Howard.
Doug Demmons,
Good night.
DDT.